Hey everyone, this is going to be the YouTube video recording from the ESO livestream I'm doing, and in this video I'm going to be demonstrating on the public test server for version 8.2.0, otherwise known as the, I briefly forgot what it was. Sorry, Firesong DLC. And I'll be demonstrating the target marker system that they are introducing in ESO for update 36. So, if you're on PC, it's not readily apparent until you go to the standard keybinds under your controls menu in escape settings. If you're playing with a controller on PC or you're on console, it's already kind of bound to you with the right D-pad, I believe. And yeah, you can do that. But on PC, you may have to keybind certain things, so for example, target marker 1, I had to keybind to the right bracket, keybind target marker 2, that, and I guess I'll add more bindings just to kind of display how many kinds of markers there are in ESO's base game target marker system. I'm kind of curious if the API opened up more for target markers for add-on developers to take advantage of to improve it or whatever. But yeah, let's look at it. First, you have to actually target an enemy, or I guess even yourself if you're not going to target anybody, with this marker. So right now I just pressed marker 1, and that's what it looks like. That's the first marker. It's a little blue square. The more I zoom in, the more faded it gets. It's a little small, but as you can see, you can just keep cycling through. There's a star. Let's see if there's anything else. There's a green circle. Red triangle of some kind. It's a little fuzzy. It's a crescent, purple crescent. Potato symbol, purple. Cross swords. Looks nice, and there's a skull. And if you want to actually assign it to your enemies, you have to tap target your enemies first, and then you can mark them. As you can see, the markers will stay on them. I'm kind of curious if... Okay, so that's pretty interesting. You don't have to tap target them. I thought you had to. So I didn't tap target that one. I marked it. And I'm going to mark that one with a different marker. Mark that one with a different marker. Mark that one with a different marker. So it's pretty interesting. You can mark yourself and other targets at the exact same time too. It's nice. I like that. So let's go see what happens when we kill them. After they die, the marker disappears, and that's it. I'd say it's actually a pretty useful feature in terms of the concept and idea. Obviously, for really big targets, I'm kind of curious, like ohms, what it looks like. I find it a bit too small. Like on me, and also on just those goblins right there. I feel like they could maybe make this bigger. I guess I could make this part of the video the feedback part, in terms of the public test server feedback, because I have several ideas about what they could do with this newly introduced system. I think for sure it's definitely useful to mark things in dynamic environments, right? Or even to take screenshots with, honestly, right? So, because like at times when you take screenshots of trash packs, you might need to point out specifically, hey, that's the Sun Eater to the left, not the one to the right, or rather, I think there's a lot of different scenarios where you can like mark things. Let's mark ohms and see what that looks like. Okay, well, you can barely see it, but I don't. Obviously, you don't need to. I don't think you need to mark ohms at all. I mean, he's really big, so yeah, I think obviously it's not very useful for really big targets. But I think this is definitely going to be useful for helping newer raiders or players in determining which is the primary target. I will say this, I think there's already an add-on on PC that lets you customize markers above people with different images too that are not in the game. Drew holder reflexes and stuff like that. And you can also customize their size. I hope maybe in the future they can add in the base game system here some sort of size adjustment. I would like the marker to be, I don't know, a bit bigger than this. I think a lot of people would, especially people with bad eyesight like mine. And also, I would propose in this part of the video my feedback. I think while markers are really good for the game, pretty excited about it, I think something could have accompanied it, which is ground markers or ground pinging. Now, there's arguments to be made against that kind of feature or that kind of system. Like, what if you have someone in your group spamming the ground, and that just to be annoying or whatever, and that directly ties in with player, not just player behavior, but also I think in terms of server performance, right? Because the reason why you can't respec CP slottables under every 30 seconds once you respec is because they're afraid. I believe it was it last year or 2 years ago that they said, it was last year that they said it, that it's directly related to server performance, because if you have, let's say, dozens or hundreds of players respec their CP at roughly the same time, it might spam the server too much, or it might lag the server or something, right? And that's understandable, whatever, right? So I would propose that for a ground ping system, only the party leader can ping it, and only one ping at a time. I think that'd be really, really useful for ground ping. Like, ground ping would be really useful. Because there are times where, like, I'm going to try to show the tank, hey, can you stand here? And I have to physically, literally show them where to stand, and, like, where my character, hey, you gotta look at my character, you gotta, like, go here. And at times, like, depending on where the boss is, too, right? Rakad, I guess some other bosses like the Hunter Killers and VishyRF, VDSR even, depending on which side you're gonna go to. Yeah, there's a bunch of boss fights where if you try to show them where to go, oftentimes as a raid lead you pull the boss, and that's not really ideal when you're trying to show people where to go. So I think accompanying this feature should be ground pings, if that's possible, and I think they should limit it to only the group leaders, and one ping at a time if they are concerned about, one, player behavior, two, and how that player behavior can affect the server performance. Other than that, I think in terms of the system itself right now that we have, I would say the PC add-on is probably, or any potential PC add-on that could take advantage of this, is probably going to be better. I mean, it's PC after all. For console, I would say this is nice as well. I think just by default, it's nice to have. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Yep.